for me, one of the big differences between movies and any other medium like television or radio or whatever is endings and the way in which the story has to end. It's not a continuing story. It's not episodic. We need a complete experience, a full meal. And so as filmmakers, we're always thinking about what are we leaving people with? Because in a way it's very important how we begin, but it's very, very important what we leave people with. And I try to craft an ending for each film that suits the subject, suits the story, and hopefully has resonance. I think resonance really for me is the thing. I want people thinking about the film after they've seen it. Then I feel.
I hope you all have been mind blown by the movie Oppenheimer, directed by Christopher Nolan, a brilliant British American filmmaker known for his Hollywood blockbuster and complex storytelling methodologies. His films have grossed a staggering worldwide records, and he's been showered with awards and nominations. Time even recognized him as one of the most influential people in the world. So let's dive into the life of such a personality who correlates science and philosophy with the ideas of existentialism, morality, and epistemology, and distinction between appearances and reality. 30th July 1970, Christopher Edward Nolan was born in Westminster, London. Father being a creative director in film industry and mother as an English teacher. In his teenage, he was influenced by Ridley Scott and sci-fi films like Space Odyssey and Star Wars. He went to Borough Hills, a Catholic prep school in Weybridge, Surrey. Further, he enrolled at Haileybury and Imperial Service College, an independent school in Hertfordshire, Hertfordshire, and later studied English literature at University College London, UCL in short. Since from his teenage, he had passion for filmmaking, which ignited at the young age of 7 when he borrowed his father's Super 8 camera to create a short film using action figures. By age 11, he already dreamed of becoming a professional filmmaker. During his teenage years, he collaborated with Adrian and Rocco Bellic on film projects. His dedication to the craft led him to choose UCL, primarily for its excellent filmmaking facilities, including a Steenbeck editing suite and 16mm film cameras. In his early 20s, Nolan wore many hats in the film industry, working as a script reader, camera operator, and even directing corporate videos and industrial films. One of his earliest short films, Larceny, showcased his undeniable talent as a writer, director, and an editor. And he didn't just stop at one. Nolan went on to create a third short called Doodlebug. Unfortunately, Nolan had little to no success, getting his projects off the ground, facing several rejections. Once he added, there is a very limited pool of finance in the UK. To be honest, it's a very clubby kind of place. Never had any support whomsoever from the British film industry. This is really very disappointing. 1998, Nolan debuted with his first feature film named Following. The idea was born from his personal experience of London burglary, drawing parallels between larceny and pursuing someone in the crowd, crossing social boundaries. Inspired by his brother Jonathan's idea, Memento Mori, a story about a man with anterograde amnesia who uses notes and tattoos to hunt for his wife's murderer. But with his exceptional thinking mind, he reversed the plot and gave us the movie Memento, an ideal style in genre of mind-bending thrillers, and solidifying his status as a visionary in this genre. Steven Soderbergh, impressed by Nolan's work on Memento, recommended him to Warner Bros. For the psychological thriller Insomnia. Despite the studio's preference for a most experienced director, the film is considered as outliers in Nolan's filmography. Due to his perceived conventional nature, differing from his unusual unconventionality, as we all know, the forever iconic Batman series. In crafting Batman Begins, Nolan leaned heavily on traditional stunts and miniature effects, opting for minimal use of computer-generated imagery. Batman Begins marked Nolan's most significant project at the time, receiving praise from critics and achieving commercial success. And then what? Who was there to stop him or could match his level of filmmaking? Further movies like Memento, Insomnia, Batman Begins, The Prestige, The Dark Knight, Inception, The Dark Knight Rises, Interstellar, The Iconic, Dunkirk, Tenet, The Legendary, and Oppenheimer, which was released recently and blown people's mind. He has set his standard as such we call Nolan's genre today, in which merely someone could dare to make his movies like similar as him. His films always delve into metaphysical themes, exploring time, memory, and personal identity. Known for mathematical inspired ideas, unconventional narratives, and evocative use of music. He is hailed as an emotional mathematician and an art house actor, creating intellectual, ambitious blockbusters. Nolan's works captivate both art house regulars and multiplex crowds, defying Hollywood norms while engaging diverse audiences. Philosophers and writers analyze his films, revealing themes of self destruction, truth, and hero villain dynamics. He seamlessly blends experimental elements with mainstream entertainment using practical effects and celluloid films to influence modern cinema. Nolan's hands on approach makes him a complete filmmaker, while ensuring his work stands out in an era dominated by this computer generated blockbusters. Christopher Nolan has given us very few number of movies, but each one stand out of the box. These are some of my favorites, popular ones, and the most iconic ones ever made by Christopher Nolan. The first one is Inception. In this movie, they talk about dreams and the science behind it. Next comes the movie Interstellar. It's an adventurous story of a man who gets into space and into a black hole and explains the time theory inside it. Next comes the movie Tenet. I mean, you can just reverse the name, you will get the same. This movie is a result of 20 years long hard work. Actors really had to act backward, zero CGI for stunts, and the director Christopher Nolan had this idea of reversing methodology since 20 years back. The fun fact is, he literally crashed a Boeing 747 airplane into a hangar just for an iconic scene. Just Nolan things, Out of unpopular opinions regarding Nolan's unconventionality in movies, many critics have debarred him, but that doesn't matter. Okay, I'm not going to become a director, then why should I admire him? The answer is wide, not one. But the matter of fact is, the things we can admire and follow from his life are very crucial ones. Number 1, planning. Persistent and deep research can help you manifest a never-failing plan. Innovation and dedication. I mean, bring up your ideas, spread them wide. Next comes action, not just intentions. People just keep on thinking that I'll do this, I'll do that, but they don't start. Start doing things instead of waiting for a better fortune or maybe a better time. The next, which is most important, is learn from your mistakes. And remember, always try to put yourself in customer shoes. That sounds ridiculous, I know, but that's how we convince people. Further, connect and manage people more. Explore more and more people around you, talk to them and make connections. Last but not least, keep exploring. Not only physical things but also metaphysical phenomena surrounded by you. Try to observe them and feel what's happening then, because that's what it's all about. From the observation of Nolan's life, I would like to say, despite your failure, do what you like the most, no matter what your own style is. People may pull you down and mock your style even, but they are never aware that someday the same would be the style of the trend. Hence, innovation plus conviction and meticulous planning can make you outstanding personality. With that being admired, let's appreciate Christopher Nolan's efforts toward his movies and his persistent conviction of movies. With that being admired, let's appreciate the timeless efforts and conviction of Christopher Nolan's toward his movies. And wrapping this video, tell me who should be the next. Until then, take care, signing off, bye bye.
And in the great tradition of these speeches, generally what happens is the speaker says something along the lines of, you need to chase your dreams. But I'm not going to say that because I don't believe it. I don't want you to chase your dreams, I want you to chase your reality. And I want you to understand that you chase your reality not at the expense of your dreams, but as the foundation of your dreams. It's very, very important that you take the elevated position that you have achieved over these 4 years, the advantages that this fantastic education has conferred on you, and you do everything you can with it to improve the world, to improve reality. In whatever field you're going off to work in, I think looking at fundamentals, looking at how people are really affected by what you do, I think you have limitless potential.